Naughty words are a super fun element of fantasy world building that can add a lot to the world if the author chooses to explore them. Just like in the real world, swears, curses, and insults tell you a lot about what the culture values and or what they consider taboo. For example, in very, very religious medieval Europe, or Christendom as they would have called themselves, all the worst swears had to do with God, often referencing part of God's body. God's teeth is a swear that doesn't really do anything for us, but was very bad in its context of origin. In Tears of the Wolf and the upcoming Oath of the Wolf, we have two main people groups, the Hildish and the Voldari, that nonetheless both value kin ties, patrilineal heritage, and masculinity. Ergo, all their worst swears and curses tend to be linked to those things. While there isn't really a concept of bastardy in this setting per se, there are a few instances where very angry characters call people fatherless whoresons. Since these people place a lot of weight on patrilineal heritage, the implication here is that not knowing the identity of one's father because of one's mother's alleged promiscuity renders one a sort of second-class citizen or even a non-person. Kin ties are very important to these people, since loyalty in this paradigm belongs to one's family first. Not having a known kin group casts one's allegiance into question, and therefore also one's honor and trustworthiness. There are other examples of insults in the books that involve attacks on characters' masculinity and virility. Again, patrilineal heritage is very important to these people. So the prospect of a man not being able to father offspring, particularly sons, would also be a big problem. Insults aimed at women in the Wrath and Weeping series tend to be unimaginative, usually involving alleged promiscuity. This is because patriarchal cultures are always worried about female promiscuity. This is why female sexuality is still such a taboo topic in so many real-world settings. In this world, as with most of real-world history, absolute female monogamy is the only way for a man to be sure which kids are his. Female promiscuity, or even assumed female promiscuity, is thus a threat to the patriarchal social order and the strength of kin ties, and thus the most common insult lobbed at women in the series. Naughty words are one of many things I had fun with in creating this world. Remember that Oath of the Wolf, Book 2, releases this October.